Good morning, live from Houston, Texas. I appreciate y'all joining us here on Green Card Guys TV. We have a lot to share here. We've kind of discussed part of this, I believe, 1 or 2 weeks ago. However, it's very important, so that's why we're discussing it again. And there's always updates involving immigration law in the United States, so we're happy to help you. Now, friends, I do want to share a success story. This past, really just about within a week, we got some good news for a client who's waiting in India. He got issued out his visa, non-immigrant visa for H-1B, and he had been waiting since January, I believe January 15th or 20th, and he responded with documents, responsive documents to 221G. Okay, a notice from the embassy or consulate. This is anytime you receive a 221G, that's when the consulate says they want some kind of document. Sometimes they don't even ask for any documents, but here's the deal, okay? And we were able to file a lawsuit. This client contacted us, said, what can we do? The last step is file a lawsuit. Usually we don't want to do it right after you provide the documents to the consulate or embassy. You want to wait at least a month to 2 months, okay? In this situation, we waited at least 2 to 3 months, actually, and he still didn't get any response. And just want to share this success story because after we filed a lawsuit, within a month after that, I believe we filed in April, within 1 month, he was able, the ICE officials or USCIS officials had gone down to the location of the employer just to make sure that this person, this applicant or client, was working for that employer. And so after that site visit, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. They just want to verify. So that's good in terms of our case. And he was able to get his visa issued. And then 1 month after that, he's got his visa. So I just want to kind of give you a timeline of things and share that success story. So if you have a situation where we can solve your immigration problem, give us a call, okay? We greatly appreciate it to see if we can point you in the right direction. Our phone numbers down here or up top, 346-330-5888. And if you have any questions, please drop in the comments. We'll try to see if we can, again, point you in the right direction. But for today's episode, I wanted to go in specifically and share about the new ICE priorities. ICE meaning Immigration Custom Enforcement. And this is a guide. Okay, I'm going to share it with you, okay? The memo that we received from our American Immigration Lawyers Association. ICE had issued out a memo on actually February 18th, 2021, so a couple months ago already. But we are seeing, and I'm now discussing this again, because we are seeing live these, the positive consequences, the positive movement based on these ICE priorities, okay? So let me see if I can share it with you. Essentially, the top 3 reasons, okay, how you can avoid removal. Because if you're watching this, you might not have a situation where you're in removal proceeding or deportation proceeding, and that's great. But you should know these things, okay, these priorities of the ICE, because then you can try to avoid the situation. Number 1 is national security. Okay, that's an obvious one. They don't want someone who's going to stay here who is a national security threat. For example, if you're an alleged terrorist, of course, if you're an alleged terrorist, then there's always ways to fight back. Unfortunately, it does take a lot of legal work, so you may need to find the correct legal team to help you with that. We're happy to point you in the right direction. The second thing is border security. That's another easy one in terms of it's black and white. You know, if you entered before November 1st, 2020, then you are not a border security threat. If you entered after, then they're going to continue processing your case through the removal proceedings court, also referred to as EOIR, Executive Office of Immigration Review, okay? By the way, if you have a case or you get required to appear in court in the future, even if you're in a different city or state than where I am, I'm in Texas, let us know. We're happy to point you in the right direction. We do have a network of trusted colleagues who are happy to assist you, okay? Of course, you need to verify the facts of your case to see if you could qualify for something. All right, so let's take a look here. The third one is public safety, okay? This is a concern for a lot of people because especially when you have a charge or a crime, or, you know, if you did a plea bargain which also means conviction in eyes of immigration. This is the common situation is a crime of DWI or DUI, drinking while intoxicated or drinking under the influence or driving under the influence. Driving while intoxicated. Okay, so DWI or DUI. I know some states refer to it as different things, but either way, they are very strict. Okay, the immigration judges are very strict about drinking and driving while intoxicated offenses. Okay, so now that I think we're getting to the tail end of the pandemic, hopefully, and at least high percentage of people in America at least are vaccinated. You should still consider using Uber or Lyft, some kind of cab service, taxi service, if you intend to go out drinking that night. Okay, I know a lot of people are wanting to go to the bars, restaurants, and bars and enjoy their life. That's very important. I get it, but please, if you're going to that location alone by yourself and meeting other friends and family there, please take some kind of car service. Okay, it's very easy on your phone. I can't recommend one over another. It may depend on your location where you are in America, but you just don't want a situation where you get pulled over by local police or sheriff department and they say that, hey, we got to take you in, we got to arrest you, and then you get eventually transferred to ICE. Okay. Again, it depends on the county. Some counties very few counties are flexible where they don't notify ICE, but most counties do. Okay, even if they don't have some kind of official 287G memorandum, ICE memorandum with the county, your local county, they could still refer your case to ICE officials. And so what that means is ICE has up to 48 hours to transfer custody to a detention center. All right. So it's very important that you know that, especially as more bars and restaurants open up, because of course many immigration attorneys have had less detained cases related to DWI this past year, right? Because not as many people were driving or going to bars. So just keep that in mind. Please be careful. But I want to share specifically with you on how our legal team goes into these different factors, okay? Because in addition to those top 3 ways to avoid deportation, it's not saying, by the way, even if you get a document in the mail or even while you're in detention center, notice to appear in court, that doesn't mean that you're going to lose your case, okay? Not automatically. There is a process. It's called due process. You're given that right in America, even if you don't have any status, legal permanent resident or as a permanent resident or conditional resident, okay? So some factors here, let me see if I can share my screen and increase it so you can see it. But this is very important. This is what we'll be discussing with any client that would like our services. Let's see here. Okay, so it's very important for you to know this. Let's see if I increase it. Okay, there we go. Well, let me make it a little bigger. Okay, you should be able to see it better now. So here on still on page 1, they are going over these factors, okay? They're reviewing, including but not limited to authorization to apprehend, okay? Not priority non-citizens. These are the people they're focusing on, okay? The non-citizens are focusing on at-large enforcement actions without advance approval, advance notice. For example, employer location or type of different factories where they have a lot of, I remember one in Allen, Texas. I think it was a cell phone part company, factory, a warehouse. And that's when they pick up, unfortunately, a lot of non-citizens of America, okay? So that's included which, by the way, my own personal rant, that they really need to focus enforcement on the employer, if that's the case, right? But unfortunately, the collateral consequences that people who work for these companies will also get picked up and required to appear in court. Okay, number 2 is the inclusion of current qualified members of criminal gangs and transnational criminal organizations are presumed enforcement priorities. And then number 3, authorization to apprehend people who have been encountered during enforcement operations. So unfortunately, that's like a catch-all. We've had some clients before where there were ICE officials went to a home and they weren't actually looking for the person that was my client. They were looking for their brother. But the person who opened the door was the brother, and they unfortunately felt required that they were required to share the name and their status in America. So just a quick know your rights here, friends. You don't have to, first of all, you don't have to open a door, okay? Only open a door if they show you a warrant. Most of the time, they won't have a warrant. So you want to ask them, do you have a warrant? Show it to me through the door or through the window, something like that, okay? You need to see it and see who they're looking for. As you may have seen, and I think Netflix, they had a documentary, and they showed several ICE agents show up to an apartment in New York. I think it's the opening scene. And I think it was an adult daughter just willingly opened a door. You have to ask who it is, ask a lot of questions while even if it's regular law enforcement police, who they're looking for, because they're supposed to tell you. All right. And if they have a warrant or not, they're not allowed to lie to you. So of course they lie to you, then you need to notify an attorney to see how that they can help you. Okay. Number 4, I can talk all day about know your rights, and we'll have a separate video for that. Number 4 factor, they're looking at how to evaluate whether a non-citizen who is not a presumed priority still nonetheless poses a public safety threat and should be apprehended. So again, for example, that could be someone who has multiple DWIs or maybe assault crimes, things like that. And number 5, further delegation of approval authority. And number 6, the importance of providing advance notice of at-large enforcement actions to state and local enforcement. Okay, so I'm thinking if there's a gang activity or some kind of vice activity that local enforcement knows about, then they can notify ICE about that. Okay, and then there is a section here about. By the way, friends, if you are tuning in and you're new to our channel, please just want to let you know, or please subscribe. That number 1, and number 2. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion either with our legal team or our CARES team, okay? And the CARES team will help qualify you to see if we can represent you, all right? Or if we could just point you in the right direction, all right? Our CARES team will be able to contact you within 24 hours, okay? If you're able to fill out the intake form down below, it starts with Ting Law. And by the way, please, if you do call in or text, you need to share this not so secret code, green card guys, and that will let our CARES team know that you're asking for the free 15 minutes, okay? Because some people do ask for free 15 or free appointment consultation, but hey, we don't offer it if they don't provide the code, because this is a benefit to you for watching our channel, so we greatly appreciate it. We don't provide it to everyone, so I just want to let you know that you get that value benefit there. Okay, friends, let's see. But I also want to share the different factors they look into. Okay, here we go. Let me share the screen again. You all should know this is very important for your knowledge, okay? Okay, so the civil immigration enforcement and removal decisions include but are not limited to the following, okay? This is kind of long. I'm just going to go through a couple. Deciding whether to issue a detainer, meaning a legal document to hold you from local custody and transfer you to ICE custody, immigration custody. All right. Number 2, deciding whether to reissue, serve, or provide or cancel a notice to appear. And then whether to stop, question, arrest a non-citizen for administrative violation of immigration laws. So that's pretty broad. That could be, for example, if you had entered the United States with a non-immigrant visa, such as L1, H1B, or F1, the common one seems to be F1, and the people overstay. Overstay is a violation, so that could be considered as a factor in detaining you. So keep that in mind. And also deciding whether to detain or release from custody subject to conditions. So what that means is if they have extra, what I call ankle bracelet, I believe it's called ADAT bracelet, then for your ankle to basically track you where you're going, then that could be one suggestion. Or, for example, if it's DWI, what we're trying to request for some of our clients is that they attend alcohol anonymous classes and take some counseling therapy sessions, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's really to help that person, that individual, our client. So it all works out if we have some kind of condition like that. For me, I personally don't like it when ICE allows requires the ankle bracelet because it is, I've heard, very uncomfortable on the ankle, okay? But tracking purposes, at the end of the day, your Android or iPhone, all these apps, they're already tracking you. So you should probably know that too. Okay, other factors, deciding whether to grant deferred action or parole. So, for example, we had a call earlier this week about a few Cubans who entered America without authorization, without inspection. Okay, and that means they didn't have a visa and no parole. But in some situations, they do offer parole, and there are some cases, some courts do interpret a document when someone is released on recognizance also to mean as parole. Okay, so if you have that kind of situation, especially if you're Cuban, we are able to assist you to apply for adjustment of status 1 year after entry. Okay, so that's something to consider. We can't get a guarantee for anyone, of course, but we need to review your facts. Okay, here there are a couple more factors. Okay, and the last one is deciding when and under what circumstances to execute a final order of removal. So what that means, friends, is that you could have a order of removal already, okay, from a previous case, but you may have been caught up with ICE again, unfortunately. So you really need to check yourself and really figure out and find a criminal defense attorney. We do have trusted attorneys in our network. I mean, of course, you have to do your own due diligence. We know criminal attorneys in different states, but mostly in Texas, Houston area, and Dallas County area. So hopefully they can help you before you agree to a plea bargain or sign off on those documents or have a final trial. And I'm not taking anything away from public defenders. I know a lot of y'all do good work. You're probably not watching this channel, but public defenders have a lot of cases. So if you can afford it, I definitely recommend hiring a private criminal defense attorney. Okay, because especially when they have a immigration attorney in their own network as well, so that they can consult an immigration attorney to see if the crime that maybe they have an offer from the district attorney, the prosecutors, that they could share that with the immigration attorney. So we have that. We have weekly calls with criminal defense lawyers who have asked us our opinion, okay, our professional opinion, whether the crime that they would do, a charge that they would agree to plea bargain, whether that would affect their clients, immigrant clients' case or not for the future. Okay, that's very important. So anyway, back to this last factor, whether to execute a final order of removal, meaning you already had an order of removal, you probably already had trial in court already, in immigration court, and you're still living in America, and for whatever reason, ICE has not gone to your home to exercise, to basically make active this order of removal to remove you to your country of nationality. So you need to have an immigration lawyer ready to go. Okay, so that's very important to share that with your lawyer, because it's a scramble. We've had clients contact us, or their family members contact us when their family member, let's say husband, spouse, or brother or sister, and they call in and say, hey, my family member just got picked up by ICE that exercised final order removal. We need to act fast. So unfortunately, you might not have the money ready at that moment, but ICE could act within 24 hours, meaning put that person on a bus or a plane within 24 hours. So even if you have order removal now and you're watching this channel, you want to contact your immigration lawyer and ask them what you can do to get ready, what kind of package, what kind of evidence you can have ready, so that it is less stressful for your family members to take care of you. Okay. it's kind of like a will, for example, in the way that you want to prepare a will, last will and testament before your actual passing. It's kind of analogous, that you just want to be ready, because we have a lot of family members that call in and say, John, we don't know what to do. And of course, we don't expect you to know what to do, but there's just so many things that we ask. We ask for certain evidence. We do provide a checklist, but we also would file a stay of removal. And so, to be honest, we charge more, because if it's last second, you need service done in 24 hours, we have to put cases that we're working on to the side to work on this specific case, right? So if who knows, maybe if you have something prepared in advance, I don't know if I doubt that every immigration lawyer would offer this service in advance, but something you want to consider, okay, to have the stay removal in place. And what that means actually is, stay removal means that ICE would not exercise the order of removal. Stay meaning you literally just stay in America during the time, okay? And then eventually you can apply for work permit, actually. So if you have an order of removal right now and ICE has not picked you up before and you don't have a work permit, then this is actually a good option. You might want to consider it, because eventually they could exercise the order of removal, or they could not, right? They have a lot of cases that are in the ICE system. So, and they probably can't get through every single case. So, because we've known several people who have been had order removal but have not been picked up. So ICE has decided not to exercise it. But if you need and you want the work permit, so you also get a social security number and a driver license, give us a call. Contact us. Our number's right here and also down here. And here's our not so secret code green card, guys. Okay, and we offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion, see if we can point you in the right direction, or maybe we can help you directly. Okay, friends, I don't see any comments. Okay, so I don't see any questions yet so far, but if you do in the future, you're welcome to call us or fill out the intake form down below, and that will be honestly the fastest way, and we can contact you within 24 hours of a business day. Okay, friends? I think that wraps it up for now. We greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions in the future, we'll talk to you soon, okay? Until next time, please continue wearing your mask. Bye-bye now.